and stress during exam. So in this video we are going to talk about books that will help you solve both of these issues. Before starting, let me clear this that you do not need to solve all the books, that too of higher level than the real exam, so do not panic about those books. Just understand and accept the fact that you would not be able to do many books. But obviously, we can do a book many times, so please stick to one book and revise it multiple times. I will discuss about the features of each book and then you have to decide for yourselves. Having said that, let's begin our video. So let's first start with biology. First of all, NCERT. So this is our Bible. You need to read, reread, and revise it multiple times. There are many minor details that we tend to miss in each chapter while reading, so do consider giving it multiple reading. Now, next up we are having NCERT Exemplar. So this book is not having theory, it is having out of NCERT concepts, and some of the questions are way beyond NCERT. So the main question is, do we need to do it? And the answer is subjective. If you have time, you can do it, but if you don't have time, then also it's okay because the level of exam is not that high. The third of we are having modules. If I'll be brutally honest with you about the fact that modules are the best kind of books you can get. It is having excellent theory, examples, extra questions, and along with that, they are having previous year question. So it's like everything in one place. So I strongly suggest you to have one. Borrow it from your family or friend, or you can even buy a second-hand book. It doesn't matter, just grab one if you can. Now let's talk about this book, MTG NCERT at Fingertip. I have never met a person who is preparing for this exam and have not heard about this book. It's so famous. So this book is having a bit of theory and a lot of questions. For each chapter there are like 100 to 150 questions. So it's a great source for question practice. The level is mostly NCERT, but some of them are a bit beyond NCERT. But I think that's normally okay because these topics are covered by teachers during lectures only. Now fifth off, so this is the book that I solved just because I had extra time. The book is Errorless Biology, NEET Aims by Universal Publication. So just like its name, this is a huge book with 2 volumes and a ton of questions. And these questions are way out of NCERT, mainly of AIMS level, and it is totally not worth it for NEET exam. So this is what I solved for NEET. Obviously, there would be many books that are way better, but I'm unaware of them. So you can obviously help us know about those books in the comment section down below. So let's first have an overview of books. So here, importance is measured on the scale of 1 to 5, and the level of content is measured with respect to NCERT, and we take that as 0, and the higher level of the content is marked by +1, +2, or even +5. So here is the table, and you can obviously see that NCERT is very important. That module, MTG, and previous year question is obviously very important. Now let's start and talk about chemistry and physics. But before we start, let me tell you that physics and chemistry is different from biology. You cannot solve those many books even if you have enough time. So just stick with basic books and just previous year question. So firstly, let's start with NCERT. So for chemistry, for inorganic and organic, it is a must for both theory and questions. By questions, I mean in-text questions, example, and the exercise at the end of each chapter. You can obviously solve more questions from previous year question of NEET, and For chemistry especially, it would be nice if you can solve previous year question of JEE mains, because questions of JEE mains sometimes repeat in NEET, mostly in chemistry. Moreover, it is a great source of question practice which are not of very high level. For physical chemistry and physics, theory of NCERT is not very important, but the question is, can we leave NCERT? So the answer is no, we cannot leave NCERT. The questions in NCERT is very important. So you must do questions of physical chemistry and physics. Now second off, let's talk about NCERT example. So again, like biology, it is not very important to solve this book, and for physics, the math involved in the questions of NCERT exemplar is way beyond our scope. So it would be better if we leave physics NCERT exemplar. Now third of module. So most of the content is enough from module, and it's actually a go-to for revision. If you want, you can skip biology from module, but you should have one for chemistry and physics. Now fourth off, it's GNCERT at fingertip. So this is an excellent book. For question practice, it has very less theory and basically formula for review, but the questions are divided topic wise, which makes it very organized. Now fifth off, there are some books which are of higher level, and I have included them in others. So books like Sangage for physical chemistry, Dr. D.K. Singh's organic chemistry, HCV and DC Pandey for physics. These are a bit more time consuming book, but they are great for those who are in grade 11th and have just started and have a lot of time to learn and apply the concepts. But for those who are much nearer to their exam, I suggest you to just forget that these books even exist. The book that you are solving is the only book that exists in your world. Until and unless you are very confident of yourself, don't pick any other book for physics and chemistry. Now let's talk about the real stuff. Previous year question and sample paper. So for both of them, I suggest this publication OSWAAL, and it's very popular. So there are two books. This is the chapter wise previous year question for each chapter. So they are having mind map for each chapter and a short review of theory and then topic wise questions. It is really a very nice book with all the features it have. It is a kind of complete revision package. Now this second book, this is NEET UG mock test sample question papers, and it's for the time when you have completed your syllabus and you are practicing the 3 hours mock test. So this beautiful book is having the questions in the format of NEET, and then it has an empty OMR sheet which you can tear and just fill the answer, while assuming that the sample paper is like a real offline test. And even if you don't have this book, then do please give offline mock test, because in this age of online tests, we forget that offline filling of OMR sheet is a huge hurdle on its own. Since the pattern of the NEET changed, so I just solved 3 to 4 sets of this book. It also have mnemonics and mind maps for each chapter for each subject. So let's brief everything. For inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry, do NCERT, then previous year questions of NEET and JEE mains. For physics and physical chemistry, have one side book for extra practice along with NCERT questions. So I think that this is more than enough for your book selection. So if this video added some value to your life, do consider liking and subscribing. Well, that's for today. See you all next time.